What's up, dudes? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I'm bringing you a little something here. Figured I'd do a little vlog today. It's been a while since I actually got it on camera. It's like, oh, look at me, there's my face. Hey. But one of the things I've actually took pride in, well, not took pride in, or have had the experience of, is actually dealing with car dealers. And be it, I've bought 3 cars, well, 4 in my life. I've bought 4 cars during the period of my life. And I kind of I know where my mistakes were made, and through talking to other people, I actually have 3 or 4 people that are really tied into the car industry that I can, pretty much go to and talk to and kind of get the underhanded or the idea of. And I have a 5th person that actually worked as a car dealer for a long time, like an actual floor guy. And after talking to them extensively, I can tell you the do's and don'ts of buying cars. And I figured I'd go ahead and let you in on this because a couple people are at that age where they're going to be getting their first car, or they're saving their money up for their first car. And I'm going to kind of explain what you need to do. Alright, the first no-no of buying a car is buying it new. Dead serious. Don't ever buy a new car. Keep in mind, I just recently bought a new truck about a year ago, which I'm currently selling. And here is the main reason you don't want to buy new. I bought new because it was a life goal. I didn't buy new because of money. Didn't buy new because of resale. I didn't buy new because of fear of something breaking down. I bought it as a goal. And I did said goal. Now I'm getting rid of it because it's just not for me. Reason you don't buy new. Let's use me as an example. I bought a 2012 F-150, and the sticker price was something along the line of $46,200. It's $46,200. After a $2,500 rebate, it'd go down to like $44,000, and then you have your equity and stuff like that coming off of it. Irregardless, if you get it out the door for about 40 grand, you're doing good. 38 to 40 grand. That's where you're generally going to get a brand new truck that's loaded out the door and be able to drive home with it. Well, here's the thing. When you drive it off the lot, that $40,000 truck is all of a sudden going to become a $33,000 truck. You know why? Supply and demand. There's so many, when you go to trade that truck back in, and be it have 10 miles or 8,000 miles, it's going to be depreciated to the point of a truck with 15,000 miles. Because that's what people are willing to pay for them at auction. Because there are so many new trucks, and because trucks sell in volume at auction, they're going to give you what they can get at auction for the truck and not a dime more. So you're going to take about a $15,000 plunge on a new truck right out the gate. And what a lot of people don't understand also when they're buying new is you expect a low interest rate when you buy a new car. And here's the way that works. If you do 300 loans a month, and any big car dealership could probably do about 300 loans a month, the bank will give you a special interest rate. And this special interest rate will be low so it can get multiple people. Well, you can work a deal out with a bank that you can get an inflated interest rate and have kickback. What is kickback? Well, this is the back end of a car deal. Kickback is like, for this example, let's say you bought a new car and you got a 5.9 interest rate and you didn't know any better and you signed anyway. Bloop, bloop, bloop. That 5.9 interest rate annually. Let's do it on basis. Let's do it on a $40,000 vehicle. $40,000 times 0.5. That's what. Hold up. 40,000. 0.05. So that's $2,000. And if you went for 6 years, you'd owe $12,000 extra on top of what you're going to pay for that truck. So you're giving $2,000 worth of interest every year at a 5.9. Well, out of that $2,000, let's say the bank wants a 1.9 interest rate out of that. So that automatically, what is 3% of that? So the car dealership will get an extra like $600 a year just making that deal. So if you pay for the entire truck, the bank get the car dealership will get an extra $3,600 just because the back end interest rate. Very cool for the dealership, not very cool for you. So what you need to do is you need to go and get your own loan before you go to a car dealership, or you can go to the dealership if you want to pick out something they have on the lot. Find what truck you like, test drive it, enjoy it. Then when they go, do you want to buy it now? You go, yes, but I'll be back. And then you go to a credit union or you go to your bank and get that 1.9 interest rate and skip out on that other 4%. You'll save yourself so much money just doing that, because those are annual interest rates. That means they happen every year. So the longer you have the truck or the longer you have the vehicle, the more you pay on the interest rate. And that's if you want to pay on credit alone. One thing I've learned, I'm about to turn 27, and one thing I've learned is credit is your enemy. They make it out to be your friend, but credit is nothing but a hassle. All it does is cause you stress, and if you only do credit if it's the last available option. If you have a vehicle that works, drive your vehicle that works. If you need a car and there's no other humanly way possible to you to get a car, then you get it with credit. But this is the best tips I can give you for credit. Get the loan yourself through your bank. Don't rely on a car dealership to work you a loan, because they get what you call kickback off the loan. Another thing, since we're going to go ahead and talk about the back end of a car loan, this is where they make their money, on the back end. They don't make their money selling a brand new car. They might make anywhere from $500 to $2,000 selling a brand new car. They might make anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 on the back end. What is the back end? Well, the back end is like rust protection or cloth seat protected. They might have $75 into that package and sell it to you for $1,000 and never even put it on the car. So you just gave them another $1,000. Another thing is, don't ever give them a down payment. What does that mean? I mean, if you go out there and you want to give a $2,000 down, let's say you got $2,500 down from your taxes, you want to put it down on a car. They will work that money out and just basically artificially lower the price of the car and put that money right in their pocket, because they're in good with the banks, so they can adjust the bank loans how they want. Don't do down payments. If you want to put a down payment on it, get the loan, then go put it on the loan after the fact. If you get a 1.9 or a 0.9, which is possible, just put it on there. You're not really going to hurt the whole overall value. And in $2,500, it's only going to be about $30 more a month payment-wise. And if you're struggling for payments at that point, you maybe should not be buying a car to begin with, if that makes sense. Buying new cars is what a lot of people do because they come with factory warranties. Well, you can get a relatively new car with a full factory warranty. For example, I'm selling my black truck. It's got 8,900 miles on it. I've got a 75,000 mile warranty that's transferable that's going to go with it. So whoever buys that truck is going to have that factory warranty up to 75,000 miles, and they can get it done with any Ford dealership, and they're going to be paying like they're going to be paying something like $36,000 for the truck, whereas I paid something like $44,000. See, there's like an $8,000 difference there, and there's nothing different about the truck whatsoever, other than somebody drove it and made sure there was nothing wrong with the truck itself. That's the idea behind it. Always buy used, if possible. Now, when you buy used, here's the deal when you buy used. Make sure that you know what the auction price of the vehicle is. If you can, run the VIN number, get your Carfax, but keep in mind, Carfax only does accidents if a police report is filed on it. So if somebody runs into a tree and gets it fixed after the fact, it's not going to appear on the Carfax. So don't rely 100% on your Carfax, and don't hold it as, the holy grail, even though they do add value to the vehicle. Most cars are going to be bought at auction price. I mean, a good majority of them will be bought at auction price, because that's the way dealers mostly stock their lot. They either get what to do trade-ins or they buy them from auctions. That's how new car lots kind of get their stuff.
So most likely, whatever they're going for at auction when it was bought is generally what they paid for it. What they pay for a trade-in, generally they'll tell you if it's a trade-in or if it's an auction buy. You can usually find that out by the vehicle ID number on the lot. I don't remember that off the top of my head. But if it's a trade-in, they're going to pay a little bit more for a trade-in, mainly because like Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, they offer these things called trade-in incentives, which could be like $1,500. And generally, if that's the case, they're going to probably pay somewhere along the ballpark of what it is for, like, look it up on Kelley Blue Book or the Black Book, and just add like $1,000 to it, and that's generally what they bought it for trade-in. So there's generally anywhere from $3,000 or $4,000 of wiggle room on a trade-in. Well, sometimes there's upwards of 5, and I've seen somewhere upwards to 10. It all depends. So make sure you know what the vehicle's worth before you go there and try to make a deal on it, and don't just take their word for it how much they're going to knock off. Other than that, buying a used car. If you're going for a very old used car, there's a couple things you can look for. You can look for the way the tires are shaped. What does this mean? Kicking the tires. Oh, that depends. The tires have nothing to do with the way the cars run, but it gives you an idea of how well the car was upkept. A person that rotates their tires is generally more likely going to take care of every other aspect of the car, opposed to somebody that will not rotate their tires. Somebody that doesn't rotate their tires generally is a person that's very neglectful and just drove it to the point until something broke, or drove it to the point where some stuff started breaking and traded it in. This isn't 100% flaws, but what you can look for is wear on the tires. You want the tires to be wore evenly and not have like a bald spot in the middle or on the left or right shoulder of the tire itself. So the next step you can look for is just standard. It's just the standard stuff. Look for with stuff being repainted, flash paint, and engine knocks and that. I mean, unless you're a mechanic or you know what you're looking for, most things on car lots, well, any decent car lot is going to have some level of reliability. But well, let's just go down a quick list of things that you actually can do that anybody can probably do. First thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and pop the hood. The engine is the power plant of the car. And when you pop the hood, look on the left and right of the actual fender wells, and you'll see a vehicle identification number. It might be abbreviated as VIN, a VIN number. If those aren't on the fenders have been replaced. You can grab the hose. There's generally going to be an air box. Well, most new cars, when you open the engine, you're going to see this big plastic, what they call breathe plate, and it covers most of the engine. This is actually there to make people not want to work on their car, and it's also pretty. What you can do, there's going to be one thing that's usually going to stick out the breathing plate, and that's actually going to be the air filter and the air filtration system. There's going to be also a pipe that goes from the radiator, which is in the very front of the car, to a reservoir. Grab that pipe, and it shouldn't have any cracks in it, and it shouldn't be very, very soft, like almost squishy. It should feel like a rubber pipe and have some kind of sturdy frame inside of itself. There should be a transmission dipstick as well. Pull the transmission dipstick, smell it. It should have a red color. It shouldn't smell burnt. It shouldn't be black. That just tells you the identification. That tells you the kind of the level of the gearbox. You can also pull the oil cap off, like where you add it on top of the breathe plate. It'll have a thing that says oil, and it'll have the oil what you should put in it. Open that. If that foams, that means the head gasket's leaking. I mean, you can do all kinds of things with cars, but for the most part, if you're unsure about yourself, take it to a mechanic. He might charge you $30 to overlook the car and tell you if there's anything wrong with it, and tell you if it's a good buy. Cars are a major purchase. Don't go out the cheap rate. Spend $30 or $40 to get this car checked out. And also, don't pay $1,000 for a powertrain warranty. If you're worried about a car engine blowing up, and you're paying $10,000, you might not be getting the right car. It's been your boy Wings of Redemption. This is just a quick video I decided to put together for people that ask help for what to do when they're buying their cars. Peace.